room for my cup of tea as well. Let's just stick this in there. Right, I gotta go do the preliminaries, the old setting the settings. So hang on one moment. Discord. That's personal settings, that's not server settings. Change link. Never. Link. Copy. Zap. No. Copy. Yeah. Okay, save that. Right, I think we're good. Let's go here. Start page. Right, we're saving. Change save. Okay, good. So if we go here, we are sorted. Good. We're all good. We're good to go. And now it's here. It's good that that happens, that no one joins initially because I need to do the setup things. But that's nice. So let's ascend some people. I need to take this off. It's very bright, but we need the light. So let's ascend some people. Who could go first? You could go. So you're close to ascension. So let's get the old warm-up painting done, the bed and black. This cup of tea is massive. I can't have this right here. It's gonna go over and scold the hell out of me. I need to move it down here a little bit. Right, whilst we've got no chit chat, let's get some basing done. Let's ascend these creatures. We're gonna need quite a lot of black because we're gonna do a few. Let's just get these, see how many we can get done. Oh, much better, much better. Here we are in my nice little my nice little nook, just hanging out. So I don't expect many people to actually turn up because this is the first time we've done 2 streams in one day. So I'll be surprised if people think, oh, what, more table today? I don't know, he's already been on a couple of hours today. I might just take myself a break. It is a Tuesday evening. But I'm really enjoying the progress I'm making with the painting. So I really want to get some things completed. And I felt like at the end of the last stream, I kind of left a little bit, fitting a little bit low. Even though the stream was great, I felt like painting, I felt like I struggled a bit with the painting. I felt like there was 1 or 2 issues with certain models that I needed to revisit before too long so that they didn't build up in my head. So I've wanted to come on today in the interests of progressing these a little bit, getting a little bit further along. Now I'm going to keep track of what I am basing here. Oh, hello. And what I think I might do is I might just go ahead and everyone on the Susan gets a coat. So I can bring up everyone on the Sue. And so some people might be able to ascend to my cabinet after their base is fully dry, because I'm going to use the is it called technical, the lumpy stuff? I'm going to use the lumpy stuff on some of these guys, but they will need a touch up afterwards. So maybe no one will ascend, but some people will get very, very close. So next stream they can go ahead and ascend, and it will be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I feel. And I can be around for a few hours. I've got a few hours now. Kids are down. I can just get some of these done, and then we might be able to get someone else on Sue's. That orc killer can you see there, that that orc killer can is done. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that as it is. I think that it's just fine as it is. There could be some tweaks, but I think with my level of skill and what we've done with that, I think that is just fine. I think we should just have that as a little time capsule as to what we've managed to achieve with that yesterday when I was on here with our K9. Ah, you son of a you friggin' heretic. Joining and just leaving, you son of a... right, you. Librarian, yeah, you know what, go on. I don't know how I got Gauze Blaster green on there, but I did. That's Agrex Earthshade, that's not a bad one. Abandon's up here. Hello, Abaddons. Abaddons. Boop. That would do me a couple more bases. I am just going to do everyone. I feel like we can just sit here and do this, as I don't have to entertain anyone currently. We don't have to do any painting challenges, no fine details as of yet, so I can get a little bit warmed up, and then we can go in and do those once people are on. See if we can't get some conversation going, because it's the social that I'm really craving today. I really fancied Chinwag. Let's move you. Whoa, let's put you there. I think I like the idea of doing all of these. I think that's the way to go. Let's just get a coat on this one. So there's ever so slightly a lip around the base of this one. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. That's actually stone surrounding. It's actually coming out of a little hole. So that base bit should be really easy to do. You can just actually caught on its talons. It's actually got a grip of me there. They're actually quite sharp, those talons. They're enough to snag my finger. Little son of a bitch. There we go. So that was first coat. That was bound to be a bit stripy, you know, first coat and all. Let's grab out the Terminator as well. I think everyone's gonna get some. Oh, hello, heretic. Or are you gonna say hi? Let's see. Shall I? Oh, heresy. I should never be in charge. I would definitely. Well, actually, I think I might fit in quite nicely with the 40k universe. I think I'd be so quick to jump to heresy, or maybe even just exterminatus. Oh yeah, that person. And just think of the amount of corruption in the Imperium as well. The people just abusing their powers. Like if you're a planetary governor, you could just it'd be awful. What? But although I did hear a good theory that really loads of people actually live quite peaceful lives, and that because the Imperium is so massive, there are places that are just completely untouched by war. And I like that idea, but I don't think it lends itself to always being war. The other one is that whatever orcs believe happens with their collective psychic ability, and because they love war, they want there to always be war. So there's always war because they believe there should be always war because they love war. I love that. It took me a little bit of a time to realize that when they say "warg," it actually means it's them saying war, which I didn't know for the longest time. I thought they were saying just some weird orky word. You can go in there. And then this blade guard, I mean, just what, null oil on the sword and I could call him done? He seems pretty done. He's an older paint job, but it was just the base. Yeah, we've got to get the technical one. But I can base, I know what base I'm doing my Marines, so this guy can definitely join the ranks. And I've got 2 more at a similar stage, which could make their way to the Susan and get upgraded as well and get promoted. They can ascend from the cupboard to the display cabinet, which would be nice because they've been sitting in there for so long. On you go, Terminator. You two, up you come. Everyone's getting the treatment today. Everyone's getting looked after. Everybody's getting looked after today. So I didn't really log on with much of a plan, other than I will do some edge highlighting. I just don't have a plan. I don't have a plan. We'll see how we go. I'll just do the boring bits. Well, is it boring? I'm not so sure. Getting bases done, I guess it could be tedious, but there is something also quite satisfying about it. Right, everyone based, or at least a coat on some of them. Time for some tea. Whoa, who's that? Who's appeared? You're gonna bugger off? You buggered off. I gotta stop thinking about it. Just ignore that. I'm done with that. Stop looking. Stop looking, table. It's only 10 minutes in. I've missed someone. This Ravener got away. But as he got away, I can paint him and not worry about getting black on my fingers. That tea is delicious. So what do we need? We need more blue on this guy. Yeah, we need more of the blue. So we need this guy. The banner off blue. We need you. Whee. So on that post-it note with the 11 is the most likes we got in a live stream, and we got it today. And I was pretty stoked, and I was also super excited because I thought the ad revenue on the channel shot up, but it wasn't. It was the Cal the Carrot Smith donation, and I just double counted it, and I thought it was something super exciting, but it wasn't. But no, hang on, let me rephrase. Yes, someone donating on this Twitch stream is absolutely fantastic. But what I meant was I thought it was analytics adjustments, but it wasn't, if that makes sense. It does make sense. This brush is way too big for this. Let's take you. Whee! So what's been happening nicely is that a lot of people have been coming on, and I've been getting a lot of people who have been chatting with me. This brush is too thin for this, maybe. Let's water it down a little bit. That's still... I don't need it so thick. And they've been coming on. Dan and Arcane have been really having my back. That's really thick paint, that is. I don't need it to be that thick. Why is that so thick? That is really, really thick right there. I'll just keep painting, and then it will inevitably become less on there. I think I might have been using a bigger brush as well, and that can be because like I used to think that the school of thought was smaller brush, better paint job. But when you go smaller, you have to apply more paint to cover the same distance. So I actually favor the starter brush. Ironically, that's the one I go for, because you still get a lot of coverage. And then really, I mean, I don't even necessarily downgrade brush size even when doing edge highlighting. I do like to have a little bit of a challenge, so I might go to my layer brush, which is a synthetic brush. That's probably my go-to, actually. I guess have they changed the names? I guess it's not fine detail now, it's just layer. Oh, a little smidge on the... I don't want to be too cautious about this, but at the same time I can't just go hell for leather and fill in all the holes. So I kind of have to find a happy medium, and I kind of feel like, well, maybe this is alright, maybe this is an okay pace for this. We are just, after all, waiting for those bases to dry a little bit. So we might as well use up this banner off. I'd love to think how I pop up on people's phones. And I guess because people are so accustomed to just chewing through all kinds of stimulus that the desire to hang on is... Or maybe I just got to up my appeal. Maybe I got to just start... Well, I'm not going to start screaming, let's be honest. I'm not going to start screaming. I get a bit animated when I'm in a super good mood, but for the most part, it's just about the paint. See, that looks good. There we go. Now we're getting a better consistency on the brush. That's looking a lot better. That is a lot better. Let's do these bits down here. I know they're quite low down, but you do see them. And it's a real treat to do the highlights on these knobbly bits. I think they turn out really good, as we know, as we've done one. And I'm very keen to get a new Tyranid on the Sues. I know exactly which Tyranid I want, but I also need to figure out, we've got some extra elements that we need to figure out as well, as mainly setting up a way to play. And I think I'm gonna be going for a pack up put out approach with the games themselves. We need to figure out which game goes first, which one gets the treatment, which one gets the to be the pilot, the flagship, the first guinea pig. All I know is that it will be quite a slog to learn the rules, but that's why I'm thinking Necromunda or Kill Team, because the matches are shorter. Simply put, that's that's the ones, I reckon. But I have to figure out the plan with that. But I'm gonna lean towards, for now, using the in-box scenery. So in that respect, the Kill Team would be better because the scenery is really tasty. But in saying that, actually, I like the twisting corridors of Hive Secundus. So I don't know, and I don't know how the terrain plays out, frankly. I don't know how that will come together, but it will. It's just a question of in what form that will come together. So I don't know. I feel like I'm in for quite the test, because we've had people just coming and going, and so we have to see if I have improved in my ability to keep myself interested whilst being solo. That's the goal. That's going to be, I think that's going to be the test. I think that's where we're at. Let's just do this arm, but we don't need to worry about it too much. So it's almost like a dry brush, and then that brush needs to go in the water because it was getting a bit dry. The blue really does go a long way. If I end up having lots of leftover blue, I will crack out another Tyranid and do that as well. Although they need a purple wash first, so I might need to just defer a little bit. Maybe I should do that. This tea is getting a little bit to that temperature where it needs to be slept. Let's crack on, and just remember not to dip my tea. It's actually quite difficult what I'm doing now. I'm trying to do this with my tea right in the way. This looks a little bit too much like a dry brush here, so I think I want to build this up ever so slightly. This brush is a bit naffed, but I think it will give me a little bit more texture where needed. Actually, no, that is just why does that just look like a darker blue? That's just a darker blue, isn't it? Hang on a second, have I missed a step? Banner off, then highlight with... Hang on, have I just missed a step? That's banner off with... No, you're not done. Hang on. Yeah, no, I haven't missed a step. It's literally just that. Yeah, it's just a thin coat. That's all. It's just a thin coat. Okay, that's fine. Just a thin coat. So let's just whack this on. That's a real pain that I put that blob in there. I might try and get it out I know I've just loaded on the brush, but if I'm quick, I can clean that up. Hang on, I'm going to do this off camera real quick, just because I need to eat the paint off the brush super fast. So even just a mild reduction to show those lines back up. There we go. It looks alright now. You could forgive that, and if I really need to, I could pop a bit of ink in that bit and it would be fine. But let's just continue on. There's just a little bit down there, and then, you know what, I'm mucking it up with this brush. Too much water on it. That's the second mistake I've made. It's because I had the tea. I'm having the tea in the wrong position. Or should I say, I'm in the wrong position in relation to the tea, and as a result I am causing mistakes that don't necessarily need to happen. So let's just blob that on. It's really thick. I think that's my main issue, is that I don't really thin paints. But I prefer to strip and then repaint. So if I have to, not that I do, I tend to like have my models as like time capsules, so it's like that's where my skill was at when I'm at that point, you know. So I don't like to really paint over miniatures. Like even painting over that killer can, I was a bit like, oh, I've spent so much time on this, but it worked out. I got lucky with that one. It worked out well, and it doesn't feel like I ruined it. It feels like I improved it, if anything. So that's nice. It's all right. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So far we've had quite a bit of heresy going on, and there's another. Stop, table. Stop it. You know you're good for 40 minutes. That's it, isn't it? I've said it once, I've said it again. 40 minutes and I'll start to really waver talking to myself. I run out of things to talk about. But at the same time, I did come on here to paint, so I do get to do that as well. That needs a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Well, I do feel a bit better about that. The tail, I don't know why the tail is so different in colour. What was I using a different blue? It's so different. I'm surprised it's that dark. Oh, I know why. Because I did a little bit of these before starting streaming, and I bet you that is definitely a different blue. It's not a watered down version of this. It was just, I just did it a different blue and subsequently dropped it for a purple. That's what it is. I've changed it because the Nids were getting a little bit too blue, and I like the purple in the recesses. I prefer that to it just being more just like a darker blue in there. So I definitely prefer that. There we go. And I need to get in there and do that little bit of tail as well. I think I'm going to get some ink on those termagants that I've got, those two fancy ones. And then also continue with the Ascension. Oh yeah, there's some little nodules under there. Forgot about those. Okay, so that little bit of pink in there, that little bit of purple in there needs just a little, not a lot, just enough to not look like it's not done at all. And I'm alright with that. This bit's a little bit fiddly, just a little bit more in there. And then that's fine, they're okay. They need some. So let's just get in a little bit on there, like so. I got a like. Oh, I'd love a hello. I'd love a hello. Was that you who placed the like? If it is, I'd love a little hello. Oh, Francois. Wait, who's this? Franco? Franco? Oh no, it's another Francois. Francois Marion. Is that the same Francois from this morning? Just a different account? And if so, how many accounts do you have? Is it a different Francois? Were you on this morning? I'm curious now. It was you. Why do you have so many different YouTubes? Is it because you look at different content on different profiles, or you've tried multiple channels? Same account. Okay, so it's just my memory. That's a different thing. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? You had a good day? Been up to much? I was just here. 25 minutes I've been here, just slowly dwindling, slowly fading away. So I'm very happy that you're here and that we can get a little chit chat. Yeah, what have you been up to? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you in the world, out of interest? I'm super curious now. I can't look it up, obviously, but I might know it, maybe. The dogs like to listen to people talking. Are you saying? Ah, yeah, I remember because you were saying free American, not French American, free American. Now I remember. It's coming back to me. Now I remember the conversation. So the dogs like to listen to me talking. Is that what you're saying? Have I tapped into... Am I like a dog whisperer? Is there something soothing about my voice to dogs? Oh, no. Wait, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. I'm super curious now. Love a good waffle. Okay, I feel like the dogs have been listening to waffle for some time, and it's not just a me waffle kind of thing, but they like a little bit of noise in the background. So I'm on speaker, right? I'm coming out the speakers. Man, I never even considered that pets might like to listen. That's, yeah, I hadn't even considered that. What dogs? I used to have a golden retriever, and a Labrador. The parents-in-law had a Labrador, and then they've got a little, well, I can only call a little friggin' scruff bag now. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. It's just this little wobbly scruff bag, which is kind of nice as a dog, frankly. Golden retrievers, though, man, they are wonderful pets. Absolutely adorable pets. If you're in America, let's think about this. So you are west coast, north, south, east. No, east coast. If my time zones are right, is that right? Which way does the world revolve? Yeah, you must be like New York side coast, I reckon. Florida. Are you Florida? Why do I feel Florida? I think like maybe we've had this conversation. Central. Oh, okay. So you said you were going to nap. So what on earth is the time there now? Midday? I don't know. As you can tell, I don't know an awful lot about America. I keep getting asked to go by my friend. He keeps wanting me to visit. And I say, like, if I go, I want to do culturally what are like the quintessential American experiences, whatever they may be. But I'm sure they vary from state to state, and even from like city to city. Oh, 1:20 p.m. I wasn't far off. I was pretty near. So just this arm now, and then we've got a little leftover blue. Yeah, so culturally, what's like something that Americans really get behind? Well, like, they tend to get really behind everything. I would like to go to a baseball game. Never been to one. Yeah, well, McDonald's and Taco Bell, they're kind of everywhere. You know, I've done McDonald's, I've done Taco Bell. Baseball game would appeal to me. Obviously, shooting a firearm. What else? What else do Americans love to do? I mean, drive around a lot. They like to drive around a lot. The distances you guys spend in cars, just astronomical. If I have to spend more than 10 minutes in a car, I'm pretty grumpy, frankly. I just don't go in cars at all, on a regular basis, actually. In fact, I can't remember the last time I went in a car. It was probably about 6 months ago. I had to take a cab, and that was it. But yeah, I actively avoid cars. I don't like them. Don't need them. Don't need them in Europe. Yeah, it's tasty. I really like that blue. It really comes out. But this side here is too clean. It's too clean. I think there's something in just cruising around, especially because this is my theory on it, right? I've seen a few American cars imported driving around here, and they're gigantic. So what I think, like, it's like you're cruising around in this giant vehicle, and it feels, as it's so spacious, it feels quite comfy, I'm sure. But European cars are teeny tiny because of the European streets. So when you see an American car in here, certainly you're like, wow, that thing's massive. Like I saw, it was a Dodge. I think it was a Dodge Charger. It was like a pickup truck, and it had a ball on it. So I think I'm going to say Dodge Ram. Dodge Ram. That's it. Dodge Ram. And it's gigantic, absolutely gigantic, and it sounded like a grumpy beast. I think American fuel has less octane than European fuel. I do believe. So I think you guys are on subpar fuel. I do believe that's something I might have heard based on my limited experience and knowledge of American vehicles. But I think your fuel has less octane, whatever that is. But I've been wrong before, so don't take that as gospel. I really did do a number on that face there, on that side. That's quite a lot of paint I put in there. All right, on you go. On you go. You just snug in there. Come on, bases are all stuck on. In you go. I need you to move in a bit more. There we go. Ah, that tea's going to be cold. I need to drink that now. Ooh. Did I fire too many questions off at you, Francois? There's a lot of questions, I know. Just answer any one. You don't have to do all of those. Ooh. Yeah, this tea is just past the point of tastiness. Okay, so I got two of these nids in a box, and I don't know what they're from, but I really like the pose. That's unique, and they've got a base, so I'm guessing they came out of, I don't know, one of those Titus boxes or games, maybe. You see how it's got a different base? Because it's definitely not a Leviathan Termagant, that's for sure. Okay, well there we go. Octane answered. So it depends on how much compression it needs to ignite. You sound like a car guy. So there we go, that's what it means. So it's more or less the same. Okay, so it's not necessarily such a thing at all. It would seem. Let's just check these suckers. Yeah, we're alright. Although one of them's a bit mucky. The pot water needs changing as well. I just can't be asked. I don't know about you guys, but I let that water get just seriously skankers. Here's the thing with streaming on your phone and having people watch on their phones, is that a lot of people are so desensitized to shorts that they just can't adhere to something. So those are people just sail past. But on the plus side, people are sailing past, which means it's getting sent out to somebody. So that's something. Not pink, but Blood Angels. No, I need the purple. Where's the purple? That is a good question. Pink, purple. Let's move those out the way because I'm just going to be picking them up a second time. Blood Angel red. I haven't used it in a while, admittedly. It's probably down here. Got an orange. Oh, I got Bugman's Glow. Actually, I'm going to sidetrack ever so slightly, and I'm going to grab down one of my base coated ogres from today. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to grab one down. Oh, he's got a little bit of spump where he was clipped and it hasn't cleaned off. I'm just going to get rid of that. Not a car guy, just two standard deviations above norm with an eidetic memory. I don't know what that is. Can you? I'm sorry, I don't know what that memory means. Does it mean good memory? Like very good memory? What does it mean? Like you can look at something once and you retain it, or you're good with I don't know. What does it mean? I guess it means good. I don't need that to be perfect, just a little cleaner than it was. Okay, Bugmans. Might as well, as I found you. Photographic. I'd love to... So does that apply to information as well? So, like, do you read a page and you just retain all of it? Because it feels a little bit like a superpower, frankly, that you're able just to remember things like that. Because sometimes, like, I forget the reason why I've walked into a room. Like, that's like goldfish memory quality, that is. I'm curious, because you've known nothing but, right? So how would you explain it? I don't know how you would explain it, because to you it's just super the norm. How would, like, if you look at an image, can you describe it back, like, really easily or something? Or is it applies to everything, but you can pick when or what? So it's something that you kind of lock into. Ah, Bugmans. Oh, it applies to everything. You can't pick. So I'm sure there's situations where it sucks. Do you know what I would do if I had that kind of memory? The first thing I would do would be turn it towards achieving complete social financial security. That's the first thing I'd do. I'd trot that sucker out, and I'd use it to get myself set up financially super good. That's what I would use it for. 10 years later, someone will say something about Octane, and you'll suddenly record everything you've ever heard about Octane. You retired when you were 30. So, yeah, good. Someone needs some good fortune, you know? Good. I am happy to hear that you are retired. Do you mind if I ask how old you are now? But frigging good for you, Francois. All you're doing now is buying 2 copies of Games Workshop box sets and playing one and selling the other, from what I understand. Retired at 30. Ironically, I would say I'm also retired. 58. Ah. Wow. So you've had 38 years of retirement. That's glorious, man. How do you feel the time? What do you do with yourself? Like, do you fish? Personally, I do. But I only catch very stupid fish. I only fish for mackerel, because you can catch them with tin foil. Or should I say aluminum foil? Being considerate of you as an American. Aluminum foil, you can catch them with that. And you can also catch, you can have a liner hooks. Because you get one on a hook, and the others are like, oh, what's going on here? And they all jump on board. Paint models. I kind of want to look at your channel now, and this Titan. I'm getting more and more curious. Because I had you pegged, based on when we spoke earlier, I had you pegged as a younger guy who had just trotted on to try and op their channel views. I know, not the nearest critique at all. But that's what I kind of felt. So clearly I was completely off. But the memory and having retired at 30 is really interesting. I need to go to your channel, I feel. Well, the trouble is I can't. I'm just on my phone. I'm just on my phone. I literally just, this new feature on YouTube, just happened to get a new phone, and I was like, okay, so I'll just give it a go, and it happens to work. I'm no good with OBS and the settings, so I was constantly failing live streams, and then when this one just happened to be so convenient and actually work, is when I actually got into it. Because I've got a whole run of failed streams on the computer, and originally, because the channel's been around for over a decade, it was me playing games, and then I had this cupboard set up anyway, and then, you know, so a few things just fell into place. The phone, and I was like, oh, I can do this and that, and then Francois, was it you who told me to pick a lane? Because that really resonated with me. I was like, I do need to kind of pick a lane, because I feel like I might be not like the polar opposite, but I feel like I'm towards the other side, as far as that's quite a mold line on that arm. That is a bit of a vicious mold line. I think I'm gonna fix that. I would a sub from you would be nice, but I don't like a Discord user agreement, so YouTube is where I share people asked to see. Oh, so the Discord user agreement, never even read it, and I'm sure loads of people don't, but I'm sure there's something in there that is pretty awful. But I guess if you read it and you retain it all, you're not going to let it slip away. That mold line was brutal. I've seen some big uns on old models before, but that one was just gigantic. Oh no. So what you're saying is that you're probably pretty good at painting? Hey, I've got something that I think you'd really appreciate. Hang on a second. I've got something that I really like. I haven't found anyone else who's super appreciated it. Hang on a second. So if I grab out one of these folders, I bought someone's collection and I'm just in the process of trying to clean it up and put it into sleeves. But here's one of the folders. I've still got a few hundred pages, but look at this little beauty treasure trove. I did find out that they re-released it all, but this is like, it smells like the 80s. Let me just move it over. So I got this. Just take a look at some of these pages. Oh, look at that. Come on. It's just, I mean, look at these Gene Stealer cultists. That artwork is just absolutely, and this is why I want to play Rogue Trader. Look, Gene Stealer Cult Army, 1,000 points. Potentially got Rogue Trader rules in here for Orcs, Gene Stealer Cults, Tyranids, Squats, and Guard. And a lot of these models I'm seeing in newer versions as well, so I can get them in plastic. But it's just such a treat that I got that. And I said to the guy before he sold it to me, I was like, do you really want to sell this for 25 euros? Do you not want to just keep it? Because it's like a really, like it's a real treasure trove. But he did want to sell it for 25 euros. What I like is I love the old stuff. I really do. And I'm actually in a White Dwarf from the 90s. I haven't been able to find the issue, but I'm in there. What I like, I would like to use, I'd like, in a perfect world, I'd like to create like the universal rules, like a set of rules that I would stick to and play by, that incorporates, not necessarily balanced, but just using the fun elements of various game version rules, and to hang with the consequences, and just, maybe something's a little bit too powerful, but then it can just be a little bit too powerful. I don't know. That's kind of like ballpark, but this is coming from someone who's never played a game since he was a kid. So, but I am looking to change that. Actively looking to change that, actually. Yeah, I do prefer the old stuff, frankly. Not the old Space Marines. Proportions got me. But now looking at them a little bit, I kind of get a little bit nostalgic, but there's a reason I never built them. And also with GW, I tell you what I did like. The old metal Screamer Killer. I had two of those, and I do like the idea of casting that in plastic, the old Screamer Killer. And I was thinking about buying one off eBay and then trying to cast it, because it's very simple pieces, but I don't know anything about casting. The model itself cost 60 euros. I was like, I think I'm going to have to, like, that's kind of a luxury to sit down and learn casting. So I was like, okay, I'm not. But the old Screamer Killer model, I know it's been voted an ugly model from time to time by people, but I think it's just good, It's just a nice model. I do all right. I've won a few painting competitions, but you'll never finish an army painting like that. My tabletop standard is better than most, though. Ah, man, I like the confidence. Yeah, but if you're going if you're going to try and win a competition, then I guess it would be harder to get armies done. So I can fire questions at you regarding paints and whatnot, because I get stuck on colours all the time. And like when I paint something, it kind of, if I don't paint something again soon enough, it kind of becomes like is it an STC? Those lost data troves? So it's like, I painted this, but I don't remember how I got to this point. You know, like I'll forget techniques, or like just with these Tyranids, I was like, why is there a different blue on this? You know, so it almost becomes like lost info. I'm so glad I finally decided on an ogre flesh colour, because now I can finally start these guys. 40 hours of basic infantry is doable, but 100 hours isn't reasonable for an art. No, I mean, I'm of the school of thought, like, I think front rank of old world stuff and Warhammer stuff, rank and file, is very important, and I think heads are very important. But then as you move away from the head, I feel like I kind of make a point of trying to speed up a little bit. I don't feel like it's necessary to get every nook and cranny. And like, I've got a friend who paints them as unassembled and then glues them together. And I asked him, I was like, well, how much of what you've glued together actually gets seen? Like, do you spend ages on a section and then once it's glued together, you never see it? So, okay, fantastic. I got a question. So you primarily hang out on painting live streams, or commenting on painting channels? Because I see a lot of painting videos, but I don't necessarily know how many people are YouTubing painting, and if so, what format do they take? I'm a bit curious about that, because obviously, you know, just been doing this like 9 days now, but there's multiple. It was live streams. I know what sub-assembly is, but that is interesting. Do you have like a really nice, comfy computer setup? Are you into your computers, or is it just a case of the computer just to fire up the live stream, or do you have a super tasty setup? I love talking about stuff like this. It's just nice. It's just nice. I would class me as a small channel, because like, we got off the ground with RC, but then for the longest time, I'm talking years and years and years, we've been in the same, and I say we as in the Royal Eye. We're not a team. There's not a group of people. It is just me. But we've just been in the same situation, because I'm not good at that whole promotion algorithm stuff. So it's just easier to go with something that I like, and if it grows, it grows. And thankfully, I found this, which combines a lot of different hobbies of mine, so it's nice. It is nice. I don't know how you found me. YouTube clearly recommended me in some capacity. I think I need to get a little bit under that head. Okay, yeah, so Bugman's, and then I'll blend up with Bugman's and a mixture of... Where's the other one? What was the other flesh colour? Maybe we don't have a next one. Okay. But yeah, I know... I'm pretty sure I'm shooting questions at you faster than you could easily respond, especially if you're in multiple live streams. So I'm guessing that too. Can I say that I'm jealous of your memory? I think only person live at 4 a.m. So I was the only one. So YouTube recommended me because I was the only one on. Well, I'll take it, frankly. But yeah, I think I can say that. I am jealous of your ability to retain information. I do feel like that must be a superpower. It must be wonderful. For some reason, my memory is really good when I do something that I embarrass myself over. It's really good in that respect. But yeah, other than that, it's, like I say, it's really bad. I think at some point I used this purple, but this is not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for Crimson, Carrion Crimson, Crimson Gore. Oh man, these are lovely purples. What are these? Just found these kicking about. They're delicious. What are those? Gene Stealer Purple. And what's this one? Phoenician. So that's Emperor's Children. But Gene Stealer Purple. So is that the purple I put as base coat and then go over it with the pink? Ah. Yeah, I'm going to leave that out. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to leave that out because with my Gene Stealers, I'm not going to do them the yellow and blue that I've got here. I want to do them classic. I want to try and paint 1990s colours Warhammer. Actually, you might appreciate this. Hang on, Francois. Let me show you something. So I was trying to paint. I like how colourful 1990s paint was. Let me show you a model. Where is it? Here we are. So I was trying with this guy, so I kit bashed different proportions of a sanguinary guard. Actually, it's frustrating. I remember every word you said, yet you'll argue with me about previous conversations because you don't remember it clearly. Wait, have we already argued? I'm convinced women do it intentionally to get under my skin. Well, Jesus, if I've been arguing with you, sorry, Francois. I confuse myself on a regular basis, so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so this is my attempt at 1990s Warhammer, and it's a Primaris Proportion Sanguinary Guard just before they released them. But I quite like them, but it's not edge highlighted. I didn't know what to go with, and I kind of got a bit stuck. Proverbial you, got ya. With the yes, I have noticed in my years that some women do indeed, how they argue is to anger you, and then the argument becomes about why you lost your temper, and that in some women's eyes constitutes a win, if that makes sense. So like if you lose your stuff, lose your cool, not everyone of course, but I have noticed that some people are like that. Yeah, and so yeah, it's tough. I hate arguing. I don't like arguing at all. I find it rather unpleasant. Some people thrive off it, but I'm not so keen. When I argue, I just, like, even if it's annoying me, I just try and analyze what I'm saying and try and talk from logic. And like, if I don't have a legit reason for being bent out of shape over something, then I'm most likely wrong. It's a tough one, but yeah, argument sucks. Doomfire Magenta, Drakenhode Nightshade, Cassian Yellow. I'm finding all kinds of contrasts. Tyran Blue, that was the blue I tried when they were coming out 2 blue. Oh yeah, this is a really nice contrast as well. This blue, this is really nice. That's a really nice blue. Basically, I found everything but what I was looking for, so I guess we should just move on, and I'll just see if I can find that for the next stream. Let's just put you there. Do you do anything? So I'm super curious. Obviously, without asking you all about your financial status, but you were with me earlier. I was talking about table trading. I enjoy. Well, there's a different argumentation. So debating a point. Yeah, I enjoy talking about a subject, but what I found, right, is if I'm discussing a topic, I do like to play devil's advocate at times and simply stand on the opposite side of the discussion as a result to encourage an interesting conversation. And I don't feel strongly about it, but in the interest of having it, like, rather than just being like, hey, I agree. But the trouble I found is that a lot of the time the other person thinks that is my standpoint and I'm steadfast stood behind it, when really I'm largely indifferent. But I just wanted to have an interesting chit chat. So as a result, people get bent a bit out of shape. Does that make sense? I'm sure a lot of what I've said does contradict. I do contradict myself a lot. I mean, it's tough. Like, my brain is just all over the place all the time. I wish I could focus it more. I'm doing a lot better, but it's just... See, I'm still looking for that bloody purple, even though I said I'd stop. Let's stop now. I'd like to think so, because my goal was to have an interesting chit-chat. So we got that flesh. I have a rust effect, which is this watered down, but I can't remember the colour that I used for the copper. It might actually be this blue, because I think that with Agrax Earthshade and then the orange would make it look like oxidized copper. That's my thinking. But it might have been a darker one. It won't be this one, that's for sure. That won't look. That's not nowhere near. That's not oxidized copper, although it could be. But I'm just using the same colours. I'm not sure. I think the blue I first showed is 2 blue. Ah, hello. Here we are. That looks more like a copper. That could be an oxidized copper, maybe. Although it does need to be a little greener. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what oxidized copper is. Francois, help me with your memory. What exactly, which one of these is nearest to oxidized copper? Jammy. I was hoping you'd come on today, Jammy. I really was. I found myself chuckling about your attic. No photo, Jammy, I noticed. You didn't climb up in the attic. I did think it was a bit of an ask. I did rearrange things a little bit just for you. So I'd just like to direct you to the new edition where I was storing stuff. There's a few boxes here. If I keep lifting it up, there's a few more boxes. That's my little nod to Jammy. The streaming. I'll tell you what it was, Jammy. So I've been streaming every day, bar one, to make this feel like it's absolutely normal, and like a combination of factors came together. And the simple truth was, I wanted to have a conversation. I wanted to have to do chit chat. You know, the blue oxide wash GW do is nice. There's actually a wash called blue oxide. Corella green shade. It doesn't ring a bell. I don't think we're going to be able to do the copper. I can show you an example of it though. I've got a plague marine round here somewhere. That's got it on here. So let's pull this out and I'll show you what it. So if you see here, so that's what I got. You see here, this one. So it is a green, but it's got a bit of orange on it. But I don't know what that color was. So I had something that does it, but I don't know which one, what that is. So I think I'm in a bit of a bind. But yeah, colours, that's what really gets me. Colours, transfers, I've never even tried. Should we give it a go? Should we try and should we just give this one a go? I don't know. Well, hang on. It felt like a lot to me. I mean, there is... Well, hang on a second. Okay, all right, Jammy. Sorry. Hang on a second. I might be able to do one better. Give me a second. I'm just going to tilt the phone round. I don't want to get my friggin' ugly mug in it. Let's just do this. So if we go up to this shelf, there's more there, right? All those Turkish yogurt tubs, that's bits and bobs. And then if we go this way... Then we go to here, and then we go over to there. There we go. So I'm sure that still pales in comparison, but that's about the extent of it, to be honest. Yeah, but that's over a few years though. That's like it's built up over time. It's not like a single purchase. It was back when I was working, so I had a little bit more cash to throw about. Corella green shade, dark green wash, and make the oxide streak, then paint your oxide over that. I could, but that doesn't so much help me right now, does it? So that sounds like a fancy way of doing it. I might just slap. I think I'm going to give it a go with this one, but with this one underneath. I'm going to give it a go. I was also thinking, Jammy, that if I had an attic, it would have stuff in it as well, to be honest. So yeah, this is the original blue that I did. I'm going to do this one, but I don't think this is green enough, but I'll do this underneath. I can't even say that. Nihi lac oxide. Is that a Games Workshop colour, or is it like a? Oh, I'm getting stuck. See how easy I get tripped up with colours. Out of interest as well, Francois. When it was a 4 a.m. stream for you, what time? When was that? Was that this morning's stream? It's a GW colour. Okay, I need to make a note of these. I'm gonna just grab a pen. One sec. Because when I go there for the next mini of the month, that's definitely too blue for an oxide, but I think it's a good base coat. Let's I'll got post-its here. Do I have a pen? Yeah. Let me find where he put that. Yeah, the morning stream. Okay, that's interesting. Dark green, Corolla green shade. I'm going to write that down. I think that's a good tip. And that's the other thing as well. Another benefit to doing the stream is that I've got as far as I can on my own with painting. Like I'm not really progressing. So if by putting myself out there, at least I can, like, what can I say? I can glean a bit more knowledge. Like I'm very interested in hearing what people better than me do. Dark green wash. I guess that could be any dark green wash. Good. Oh, and then that one. NIHILAKH. Oxide. Can I ask a favour? If you guys haven't slapped a like on, can you slap a like on? I'm really trying to up the ad revenue so I can give myself a reason to open one of these boxes you've got over here, because that's my table trading budget. And so basically what I did was I've locked all my, I don't know the phrase, but my liquidity is gone. I don't have any liquid cash. It's all tied up in these things. And so I'm giving myself a week to try and bump up the ad revenue. And if I hit any one of those milestones, I'm going to crack open a box to celebrate. I have engineered my own goals. But the issue is that table trading was stopping me from being bored. So at the moment, I'm not doing any table trades. So it's kind of like, I don't know why I've done it, but it's just, I don't know about you guys, but when I wake up, I set myself like little missions that I do over a period of time, like brush teeth 5 minutes, and then if I don't hit them for whatever reason, I get stressed out. I don't know why I do it, but I've engineered, this is me engineering stress, because these are the prices that I paid for them, and I'm confident that I've overpaid, or at least I've paid to such a point that I won't be able to resell them for any profit. Does that make sense? I'm trying to do trading just to keep myself like relatively sharp, but I don't have an eye for numbers. But what do you think to those prices? I think they are, I don't think you can make a profit on those numbers. Like 200 for Typhon, I think I overpaid for that one the most. But anyway, I'll take your thoughts. Thank you for putting that like on. Didn't find the purple ink. Right, so that's dry now. Let's get a worn out brush and do this. There we go. So if I just try and make this look a little bit, just leave a little bit of that blue showing through, and then see how we, to be honest, the center more should be a different color really, shouldn't it? It shouldn't really be the copper, because you could get a nice contrast between the two. So that inner edge could be something else, to the point of where I'm not going to dab it anymore. I might change the inner bit, because I feel like there's a lost opportunity there, that it could be a different color. I'm just going to smear that out a bit. I think that inner more bit could be something else, I reckon. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If I just do this edge, because it's a little bit fleshy. You see that? Yeah, you can see that. But again, try and leave it patchy, but just cover up the bits that are flesh tone. So I'm thinking I might go for, because it's the Great Moor, isn't it? So you'd want the centre to be red, right? I think if the centre's red, it might pop quite nicely. Pop, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I think I got to do a little bit of work to get that coppery looking. But one shield's enough for practice. What I am going to do is, because I've got the Dominion box, I don't like the orcs in it. but I love the squig hide shields. So what I'm going to do is when I assemble the next ogres and I have to put this belly shield on, I'm going to put the squig hide face shields on it. You know, the ones from the Dominion box. They're not Cruel Boys, I think they are. And I think painting those faces will be really fun because you can do them red, and I can blend red relatively well, and I think they'll be just really enjoyable to have those faces on the front. I think it would be a nice touch. I've just realised that I was scrolled up to get the name of the paint. So I just have to have a little look. The copper roofs in Paris have small amounts of algae moss growing on the edges where the oxide stains. The green wash will simulate this well. Ah, yeah. Moss and nib are worth the most for resale. NOS and NIB are worth the most for resale. NOS and NIB. Don't know what that means. Thanks, Jamie. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, I'm not going with a metallic at all. Just paint a gold Agrax Earth shade over that and in green shade with oxide. Oh, I'm getting confused now. Yeah, look, get loads of little hobgrops in my loft. Okay, Jamie, I've just thought of a wild new theory. Is there even a loft? Is the loft your imagination? Ah, new on sprue, new inbox. Okay. Yeah, I figured I got that much, that on sprue is better. Assembled, people do like to still think that once they're assembled, they're more they retain a lot of their valuable. I think, yeah, I agree. As soon as you snip off that sprue, the price goes down. But some of the pricing you see, and like for some just awfully painted models as well, like really caked on paint, there's just some absolute monsters out there. I'm gonna do a base. Yeah, Jamie, what do you think to my theory? Have I found you out? Is there even an attic? Or is it just like you've got a story that's better than everyone's? It's like, because so far you've said you've got everything that we've mentioned, just more. You know, when you have that friend who's always got a better story, it just happened to be similar to yours, but it just so happens to be more of it. You know those friends? Is that what Okay, so yeah, I wish as a response. That galvanizes that you are indeed a worse hoarder than me, which is strangely nice. It comforts me to hear this. Yeah, that I'm not the only one. I knew I wasn't the only one, but it's nice to meet another one who is worse off. That is a bit of a treat. Why am I not? You know what I need? I need some kind of painting rack, man, because I am spending so much time looking for paints and I don't know where on earth I've put them. And I'm not even finding ones that I've used recently now. I have to stop putting them just in plastic pots. How do you guys have your paint set up? How do you do that? How do you... Oh, hang on a second. How do you beat the reselling and the people who buy up loads of... So two things. How do you set up your paints? And with the reselling, I gave up trying to buy sets new, right? But I was going to try this year to get the Assault Terminators and one Battle Force. But the reason I gave up is that I just wasn't fast enough. By the time I got all the information put in and stuff, they've just been gone. And then I see them on eBay and people they immediately appear on there with like €50 slapped on top. And I know I did it for Typhon. I know I overpaid for that. But I really, really like Tyranids and I really like Servitors. So this one, and the terrain as well, was just like super good because I liked the Forge World stuff, but I didn't want to get them in resin. But yeah, so I have basically enabled them there. I have 3 triple layer metal cantilever toolbox. One for paints, one for brushes, one for glue modeling, assembling stuff. When you say cantilever, is it the one where you open it and then it has these trays and you lift it and it opens out and there's two or three below it? I think that's what you mean. And a huge standing toolbox. Okay. So it sounds like you've both taken similar approaches to storing your paints. That's interesting. I was thinking something like here, a little skinny, like if it was a one row of paints and it just went and then I could see them straight off the bat. I could see them, and then I could like have a row which would be like towel paint scheme. Metal character models are the best return. You can find them 2 to 5, clean them off, give them a quick spray primer, and you can resell for 15-30. Yeah. Yeah, there is that. The thing is, I've kind of been trading in stuff that I like to try and stop me from hoarding, because it's been a bit of a jolt to part with things. Like I sold 3 Sisters of Battle exosuits. And I didn't want to part with them, but I sold them anyway, because I think like it's a way to try and improve, because I don't like to let go of things. So I deliberately go for buying things that I really like. Like for example, this guy. I absolutely adore Terminators, but I've got this guy here. And I bought him because I want to paint him, but at the same time I'm also actively trying to sell him. So yeah, those boxes do sound good. I just don't think I have the space in here. But maybe if I had it at my leg. But then I'm still looking down and reaching into something and trying to get these paints right from the top. But it's interesting to think about. Like, it's interesting conversation. But standing toolbox sounds like it's on wheels, doesn't it? It does sound like it's on a wheels kind doohickey. So space would be a bit of a factor. I'm pretty much wardrobe size. I don't know if there's a standard size for wardrobe, but I have a wardrobe. So hello. I not got him, but I'm going to order him, so next time I can see him I can say I got him in my loft. Well, yeah, you can you can do that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you get him. I'm curious now if you've got some of the other ones now. I'm surprised I've got one that you haven't, actually. Yeah, you have to pick a lane. If you want to make money, you need to do things and make enough money to be worth your time, or build a pile of shame you want to paint and collect. Yeah, I don't want to, though. I don't want to pick a lane. The reason I don't want to pick a lane is I don't have the skill. I don't have the skill to buy low, sell high, and to get it consistently right. I don't have that in me. I don't have that skill. But at the same time, I've got more than enough models to last me. But again, another good reason for the stream is that I'm painting way more than I'd usually be, because I wasn't painting at all. But now I'm painting every day, so things are getting reduced. The problem I have, Francois, is that I buy sets when I have money, and then I end up selling them for less when I'm a bit short. That's what I end up doing. Or worse, I'm a bit bored, and so I try and free up some money to sell stuff. So there's been more than a few occasions where, like for example, these Sisters of Battle that I sold today, I bought them for 35 and I sold them for 30. So I know what you're going to say, but I don't have super memory or a lot of skill, or yeah, I know it's bad, but I saw it as gaining 30 rather than losing 5. But I know it's a stupid way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What I was trying to do is I was trying to have momentum. So like I had enough stuff buying and selling to make me busy. And then I was then entertained. And I made enough to buy these boxes. So that's good. I made like that from selling bits and bobs. And not all of it was for a loss. But now I've got myself in a bind that I'm sitting on these boxes. And I don't want to sit on them. I want to open them. So I guess that brings us right back to pick a lane table, you dumps. Yeah, it just brings us back, doesn't it? Brings us back full circle. What armies do you guys collect? I know Jammy, it was you who was mentioning Old World, right? I think it was you mentioning Old World. So buy the set you want, then buy 5 or 10 metal characters to resell. This will reduce the overall cost of what you keep for yourself. That's a good idea. Okay, yeah. That's a really good idea, actually. Let's do it that way. I should do it like that. I should allot a budget for metal models. That's the way. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? He's friggin'... That's the one. I'm going to listen to you, because, yeah, that makes sense. Have 2 separate piles. But what if I want to get a metal Screamer Killer and cast it? That might be a bit of a bleed over. But I do hate metal models. I don't like them at all. I really don't like metal models. I wonder if I could cast metal models in plastic and then have them for myself. I got most of my Tomb King's release for the old world. Loads of orcs, not any Bretonnians though. Got loads of Chaos Dwarves. Hang on, Chaos Dwarves released recently, right? Oh, all the old Legion of Asgore releases too. Oh, is that the new ones? I think so. 65k Dark Angels, 3k Tau, 5k Dark Elves. So with Dark Angels, right, in these old White Dwarfs and stuff, Dark Angels are painted black. There's a picture of a Terminator painted in black colours. So the Deathwing happened at some point, but it didn't happen in these first edition pictures. So I'm going to paint my Dark Angels black, I think, because I want to get Templars. I like the idea of Templars, but I happen to own Dark Angels. So I was thinking 65k of Dark Angels. 65k. So you've got to have some display cabinets. Crew are nice. Like they have a nice feel to them. Like I said when I was talking about the Crutox, and then that guy on the lizard with the sniper rifle, really nice models. But I love tower auxiliaries. I think they'd be lovely. I don't even know when would you find, because I've got a copy of Apocalypse, so that's the only time outside of display I feel like you would field 65k. I love the idea of Apocalypse because it says in the rulebook that it's about creating carnage. Terrain kits are other purchases to make. New in-box terrain kits increase in value more than any other DW product. They do take about 5 years to increase in value. Yeah, you mentioned the 5 years thing. Unfortunately, terrain is what I have the least of, and what I desire the most. That is, I really want to put together... I mean, I bought some ruins for Legion Imperialis because I wanted to make a cityscape. But I bought just the ruins and then ran out of cash for like the spires and the hab blocks and all the Ministorum bits. So I'm going to hold off on that. What I figure is I'll do this until it gets popular, and then maybe Games Workshop will be like, hey, here's some terrain for you, little table, like what you're doing. I know that's a pipe dream, but it's nice to have a reason to jump on a stream, you know? Like, multiple reasons to want to turn it on. Making it normal, getting some social, progressing your painting skills, and then you can just daydream about, oh yeah, it'd be nice if loads of people were watching, you know? And you and Warhammer sent you some terrain, because from what I've been told, they don't care about terrain, so they just send you a shed load of stuff. And I was like, oh, you know what, I could do with a couple of boxes of boarding actions and some Necromunda floor tiles. That would be nice. I'll take some of those. Thank you very much, Games Workshop. Don't mind if I does. Limited production. Theme table requires more terrain than most people can afford. Building a theme table often takes years of budgeting. It's important that you track down that last. Yeah, agreed. But I have a Chaos Dreadhold Overlord Bastion, if you want to look it up. And I'm going to cast it, and it can be a Nurgle Fortress made with sprue goo, because it would be all manky because of the sprue goo and have loads of holes. So, in theory, I have a Chaos Fortress board. The last 2 kits, you need to complete your table. Terrain kits often go for 300% plus. The Chaos Dreadhold, I haven't been able to sell even for 50. So I'm not so sure about that. Even though I only found 2 on eBay. Admittedly, I didn't list it on eBay, but I feel like that's something that I could sell. But again, I want to cast it. But if you say terrain, I might keep hold of it. But it's already old. It's Age of Sigmar old. It's not a new thing. Chaos Dreadhold. It says Overlord Bastion. There's 3 different types, and this is the medium one of the 3. So yeah, I feel like I might have something that I could table trade there, but I just don't have the right buyers, I guess. But I know you're right. Like, if someone was doing a chaosy thing and they needed that one piece, they would be willing to pay more for it. But Boarding Action sounds like it's quite fun to play, because it kind of gives off Space Hulk vibes. Oh god, no, it's not. No, it's not being produced. No, it's not being made anymore. You can't get it. No, it's ancient. It's Age of Sigmar, maybe even first edition Age of Sigmar. Well, that's not ancient, but you know what I mean. It's not about anymore. Try and look it up on eBay. I'd be surprised if there's one on there. But I just can't find the buyers. Can't find the people who'd be willing to pay for it. But it would be nice to find someone. That's probably the closest to a bargain. But one guy was like, umming and ahhing about 80 for it. And then I said, yeah, I'm not going to sell it to you. I've got it currently listed for 150, but no interest whatsoever. Ironically, the best deals I've ever made was on Lego. And I've got a load of BB guns that I bought. I've got like 20 BB guns and air pistols that I bought for 90% off new. But you can't sell air pistols. There's quite heavy restrictions. Skull Keep. No, it's not Skull Keep. It's Overlord Bastion. Overlord Bastion. It's the tower. It's a tower and a gatehouse. So the Skull Keep, I think, is the smaller one. And I think I'm the medium one. And the next one up is all 3 sections together. But I think mine is 2 sections. I think it's the gatehouse and the tower. So yeah, that's the one. But it's not Skull Keep, it's Overlord Bastion. Dreadhold Crucible. Again, it's not called Crucible. It's Bastion. So maybe they've changed the name. The name's changed, or it was that, or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's by the by. I'm not going to list it on eBay because I can't figure out how to do the international postage. So what will most likely happen is it will turn into, I'll use it for molds. I'll get some, blue stuff, the stuff that cures in hot water, and then you can make casts and reuse it. And I think I'll use that to do like bigger board at some point. Maybe if I get some more space, I can actually put together some boards. I think what I'll do is, if I hit the target for Secundus, I will just simply take this phone and shoot the live stream on the floor, and then just play a game like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's the good old art of the possible. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And then we can actually get a game in, and maybe you guys can decide what the other side does. So it's listed on eBay for $329, right? I mean, yeah, but the thing is, yeah, it's been listed at $329. But is someone willing to pay $329 is the issue. But how? I mean, I'd take $125, frankly. But that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. I'd have to get it on eBay, and I just don't know how to do the postage. It's just a nightmare. So it sounds like I've got something little neat there, little cool there. Yeah, someone will buy it. Okay, so maybe I need to, even if I factor the postage a little wrong, maybe I should. Okay, you know what? I need to listen to you, Francois. I need to listen to you. That's what I need to do. I shouldn't just say, oh, I'm bad at calculating and setting up the postage, because I have an eBay profile. I should just put it on. I should do that, based on what you said about terrain value and... Okay. Because it's new in box, new on sprue. It's not been tampered with. I think I'm going to have to list that on eBay, aren't I? I will do that tomorrow. It would be really useful because, like, if that sold, right? Say I just sold it for, say I just sold it for 250, and generous. Say I sold it for 300, right? That's Typhon and Necromunda right there that I could then open without feeling guilty. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'll listen to you. I'll do it. I'll list it. I'll find a way. I'll figure it out. I'll do that. And then maybe it will sell. And maybe then that's a lot easier than trying to grow the channel revenue. Food for thought. I'd like some money. That would be nice. I feel like I've got a little potential gem there then. A little potential... Get table playing Secundus. But to be honest, I'd sell it for 2. But, I mean, don't tell them that. But I would. And that's another thing. I'm not really that ruthless with haggling. I don't really like haggling. I don't like drive a hard bargain. I'm not really into that stuff so much. So I don't have that, whatever that instinct is to chase loads of cash. You might have to list it for 6 months, but listing things like 0 effort for a return you could get. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a very good point. It is listing it for no effort. This brush is absolutely naffed. I need to get it in some water. Yeah, that's done. I noticed that I got a bit of blue. Got a bit of the bone shade on the blue, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave the mistake. Don't really want to wait 6 months, but you're right. The sooner you get it on, the better, really. Let's have a look at you. Yeah, I think it's definitely good. The issue is not having enough cash floating around to sit on it for ages. That's the weakness. That's what I found. And what gets to me is that I've got it and it's sitting there and I'm like, oh, that could be X amount, as opposed to if I keep it, it will become this amount. And so I'm actively trying to not be bored with things. I'm trying to make enough moves that stuff's going on. Does that make sense? But yeah, I would like some terrain. Not well. That's another problem right there. Did you hear what I just said? Because I am after terrain. Because I'd like to make some themed boards. I really like the ash waste stuff, like the vehicles, the cargo haulers. I think they look beautiful. Do you know anything about playing Necromunda? Ah, yeah, okay. So you know the setting, but not so much the playing. Okay. Yeah, I love the lore. There's so many just fantastic bits. Some of the bits in the books are absolutely fantastic. I found one deceptively good series was the Crimson Fists trilogy. That had some really glorious bits in. But I also liked 15 Hours. I thought that was a really nice touch. That book was really good. I don't know how many of the books you've read. Maybe we shouldn't get into book territory. Maybe we're going to ruin that for people. Play Apocalypse as my format of choice. I have a copy of Apocalypse. I have that. Yeah, I was actually looking at some movement trays, and I'm guessing they might be pretty useful. But Apocalypse I like because, from what I understand of the rules, like, something can be annihilated, but the way the turns work, it can get a shot off before it's removed from the table. And I like the idea of that. I shouldn't do this all gold. It doesn't look good all gold. That handle should be something different. I think like red. But, well, I mean, at least the end's done now. I'll just do it in there. I am kind of just flip-flopping around now, doing bits. Should we focus on something? Maybe I need to dial it in. Because I was going to do the bases, frankly. Right, so this more. Something's up with that. A trash. We just play normal 40. Normal 40 at APOC scale. Oh, really? Doesn't that just take... So you must have somewhere long-term to have your board set up. I need to do that more, different colour. Let's fix that. Let's do that with a red. I'm going to go with Blood Angels contrast, but first I need a darker red then. I need corn red. Yeah, here we are. So that's like days long affair, surely, for such high point 40k games. That must be just massively long. But I guess if you've got the time, as you do. Sorry, I'm just laughing at bunker. Oh, I don't think I've ever met anyone with a bunker before. See how the red immediately makes those teeth look better. Oh, okay. 50k points in 12 hours. That actually... Because that's a weekend. That's a weekend of fun right there. That's actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. That actually sounds all right. I thought it was going to be way worse. That already looks better. Now what I'll do is I'm going to start putting on the lighter red now and try my hand at wet blending. Oh, geez. Well, 12-hour day, yeah, I guess. I think I'd get pretty tired by the end of that, though. I think 12 hours of trying to follow rules. Here's a thing. Do you use a dice tower? I feel like a dice tower would be really good as opposed to just rolling them. I feel like a dice tower is the way to go. I think they're quite novel. Or do you just roll them on a tray or in a dish or something? But I feel like dropping them into a dice tower would be quite nice. You can get some real novelty ones. What I'm going to do with the ink is just go around the edges of this. I'm not gonna worry about pressing it in too much. Oh, I've overlapped there. Okay, well that will be easily fixed with some Gauze Blaster Green, my current favourite colour. There we go. It's nice. Arcanine! Hey, hello! You got mentioned. I could have done with you in the first 25 minutes. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was flagging. I was hoping that you would turn up, but no, you were definitely welcome here. 8 AM till midnight. We've set up, clean up, dinner, lunch, and breaks. Hey, here's a question: Does Warhammer get worse if you have a few beers as you go? Could you sit and have a few beers with a game of Warhammer, or does it really just throw things off? No dice tower. You can feed 80 dice into a dice tower. Ooh, yeah. That's another appeal. I think I would like a dice tower. I think you could have a real novelty one. I would like a dice tower that would be like the Inquisition symbol. That would be a pretty cool dice tower, I feel. I did say Arcanine that I wasn't going to, but I realised that I was feeling a little bit blue, so I thought I could do a bit of social, so I hopped on again. Second time. I've actually got to go doctors tomorrow during the day when I'd stream, so I might not be able to stream in the daytime tomorrow, so yeah, it's not the best. What I'm up to, we've been doing I did some basing. I've been starting work on the other two Ravagers, did a little bit of the Chaplain, and we've been talking about I started one of my ogres. There we go, started one of my ogres. But we've a pony keg. I don't know what that is. But that answers my question that, yeah, you can have a few beers. And we've been talking about piles of shame and just generally the hobby in general, actually. It turns out that me and Francois are big fans of the older Warhammer. And we've been talking about table trades and trading in general. It's something that's completely alien to me, but there has been some real interesting nuggets that have come up. Heisweisen. Okay, well that's nice that you buy that and they buy the food. I'm not really a drugs guy, frankly. Not really at all. And I kind of gave up drinking. I think I've had, how many nights of drinking have I had this year? I think 2, 3 if you include New Year's. No, I didn't drink at New Year's. 2. And it's not through personal preference. It's just I can't look after the kids on a hangover. It's just impossible. I just can't do it. The hangover, childcare on a hangover, you just can't do it. It's just the worst. So I just stopped. Like, I have to have like the hangover day all planned out. With hangovers as well, I'm getting older, shall I say. And so I've really got to plan out the hangover days. Like, I've got to wake up and I've immediately got to eat something greasy. I've got to get something greasy, like a pizza, or better yet, an English breakfast. And then I need a big glass of soda. And I need to go straight back to bed with a paracetamol and an ibuprofen in me. If I do that, I'll wake up feeling semi-normal. And then from there, it's straight into cold shower, as per usual. And then not doing much of anything, just sitting at my computer playing Civ or something, just not much of anything. Pony keg is half-size keg. Sorry, Francois, about the drug terminology. Okay, it's a plant. Sorry, I don't know. Is this one of those moments where I step on your toes and you never forget it? Is this one of those arguments? You wrote marijuana, right? That's how you spell it. Or am I just not mistaken? I don't feel strongly about this at all, actually. Isn't it a chemical? I don't know. I'll just agree with you. It's a plant. There we go. So I'm just going to go, you know what, actually, I know I said I wasn't going to do all of it, but I think I'm going to put this ink on all of it. I think I'm just going to do the whole thing. But I kind of feel like it washes out the lighter red. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. It's nice though. I definitely prefer that to how it was. Yeah, I definitely prefer that. Okay, now I've got to wait for that to dry. Should we fix this dollop that we... Oh, that's really stuck. Should we fix this yellow? We realised that Table's patented super special yellow doesn't work when you use it as a layer. That you've got to go 1 and not more. What's that? Oh, nothing. Sorry, I thought there was a table tray coming in. Okay, Nine, what have you been up to today, bud? Did you get much done? So we went evil. That's the yellow we went with last time for the first one. I'm going to do the same. So let's get the ink ready, which is this one. I mean, I will agree. All the fruit and seed bearing plants of the earth to use. Genesis. Okay. I don't feel smart, right? I was too busy getting confused what Genesis was. I immediately thought of the Genesis weapon from Star Trek. What kind of car radiators or house radiators? Oh, what am I doing here? Look at this. Trying to get this yellow off. Oh, that's... I'm not even going to try and redo that. I'm just going to use a load of water to get that paint off. It's the second time we've had to do this today to this model. It's the second time I've had trouble with that yellow. There we go. We're back to square one. At least it's okay. Okay. All right, back you go. I haven't done any edge highlighting. I'm going to do some edge highlighting. Let's do something difficult. Right, I got stalled with this. I got stuck with this guy. I was going to Google what the librarian looks like colors wise, but then I guess I should go this psychic hood. Is it normally like the Emperor's armor's gold because it conducts psychic energy? Not as good as flesh, but it does conduct it well. So would the hood be gold? I feel like the hood would be gold. Let's go with gold and see how we get on. I would say that, I'm sure that was in a book, where gold conducts psychic energy well. Psychic hood is grey. Thank you, Francois. We're going grey. Let's go with grey. I happen to have some luck with grey, so let's go ahead and do that. Nice and steady. I'm going to try and leave some of the light bleeding over, but I want to. There's something on the brush there. I want to edge highlight this bit a little bit, because I want to do a bit of edge highlighting. So even though I'm going to highlight it with a white as well, I want to do just a bit. I know that's probably the wrong place if I want to leave the light going, but I just wanted to do a little bit, because I haven't actually done any today. No, in this stream. There we go. What are these circles? Are they like something? Is that some kind of rune or something that I need to do there? Is that something there? Have we lost Jammy as well? Is Jammy still with us? Or has he vanished into his attic? just been absorbed. Yeah, it's what it is, Francois, is with colours, getting the right colour mixes, getting the right ratios of colours and how to go about it and what to do, that is by far the hardest bit for me. Like, my Tyranid paint scheme took me years to finally get, but once I got it, started going great guns. But even then I kind of forget it a little bit sometimes. But it's, yeah, but I think it's because GW is so expensive that you don't want to mess them up. But I feel like a lot of people just learn to paint a certain way and just never change, so I have to keep forcing that experimentation. Me and Arcanine yesterday had a great go at that with a killer can. It went great. We just were conversing about it, and we actually got somewhere with it. It was fantastic. Can I do them gold? I think I'd like to do those gold. I'm kind of asking you, can I do them gold? Of course I can do them gold. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the comfort zone. Yeah, that's it. That's also, the comfort zone thing is multifaceted, because being on this stream as well is not only helping with the paint and getting out the comfort zone, but getting out the comfort zone of being a shut-in. So where's my grey? Oh, it's not there. But so yeah, it's yeah, being time poor, I've had to combine interests. But yeah, with the painting, I have to keep stretching with it. I have to keep pushing with it. But it is easy to fall into complacency and just be like, I'll just do that. But then that's why I started collecting multiple armies, because I was like, I need to paint different colours. And with the Tyranids, I was like, I need to go bright. And then you see, like, the Chaos Demon guy, I was like, I want to get some corn so I can get better with reds. But then there's certain armies that really intimidate me. It took me ages to get to Tau, because I was like, they're going to have to be super neat. They're going to have to be super neat and really, really crisp edge highlights. And that's the same reason why I'm struggling with painting my Elder. I don't have a lot, but I really, really like the Wraithguard models. I think they're amazing. I've got 10 Wraithguard. 3 are almost done, but I've got to spray paint the heads. I should probably show those. I need to dig them out, actually. That hood's a little lumpy. Experimentation really helps the process, but I can see the price of some stuff, especially when you're starting out. You don't want to mess up. Yeah. It helps to buy some super cheap 3D printed models for experimenting on. Yeah. That's a good point. That's not a bad idea, actually. I don't think that would hurt at all. I did have one Retributor. Is they Retributors? The Age of Sigmar guys, the Knights? I had one of those and I was just repainting it. I don't know why I stopped doing that. I've still got it. I might crack that out for experiments. Okay, grey hood. I want to do a little bit of this edge in here, but not a lot. Just a little bit. I don't like how patchy that side of it is. I'm going to put a little water on the brush and see if I can't. Everyone does neat and crisp. Everyone does neat and crisp. I want to do Elder. There's a picture of some Elder artwork with a Titan in, and the Elder, it's got like a swooping hawk on the front, and it just looks, I think there's a bit of plastic on that hood. That's why I think it's lumpy. I think there's a bit of extra plastic on there from when it was clipped off or something. There's something there, and I'm willing to go in with a knife and try and find out what it is. It felt like there was something there. Do you see that? You see that little circle that's carved off? Felt like something was there. But yeah, it's true. People, I'm sure everyone does. But the thing about Elder that I really like is that all of their models have a different element to them. Like, you know, Sweeping Hawks, Howling Banshees, Death. I don't think they're called Death Leapers, but then you've got Fire Drakes and you've got all the Phoenix Swords. They all have their own different colour scheme. And I love that. I love that they're so bright. Harlequins as well. You can just go crazy with Harlequins and have a real good time with those. I feel like there's so much variety to be had from one army. And I happen to have their rules for their data cards for Apocalypse and Rogue Trader. So, you know, they kind of, for that reason, they kind of interest me. Well, I mean, that is impressive. I bought a white, just regular craft paint acrylic, and it just came out really watery. It wasn't good at all. Yeah, so, but I guess maybe the paints are different in the States. But I only tried the one. But I was like, oh, I spent a few euros on that. I don't really want to keep spending and then not using it. I've still got the white paint. I haven't used it for anything else, so I just literally took a dollar pattern and just left it. My Lamenta Sergeant on both my pages is 90% craft paint. Pages? So you got your own website as well? Or do you mean your channel page? I really need to look. How would I find it? Foxhole Games? Is that how I'd find it? Foxhole Games? I could walk across. What do I need to punch into YouTube to find you? Channel pages. Yeah, tell me what I need to search for. I'm going to go across and have a look. I'll go across right now. I'll go across right now and have a little butcher's. Gold nodules. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. So I'm noticing something, RK9, with our streams. I've noticed that both today and last night, I'm a little... I'm on my phone. At Foxhole Games. I'll look for Foxhole Games. Hang on, let me just do these two gold nodules. But I've noticed, RK9, that my daytime streams are a little bit different to these streams. These streams seem a lot calmer. And I guess it's just, you know, because I've worked out, I've been with the kids all evening, and there's something a little bit different. They got different vibes, I've noticed. I'm going to do this bit as well. The streams do have a different feel to them. I feel like these ones are a little bit more chill. I guess just tired. I do like the new person joins doing a painting challenge to try and win some likes. I like that element. I'm definitely going to do that, but that's not an evening thing, I feel. Can't search it. Oh, you get that video game foxhole content. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the chill evenings. I think they've both got a nice little place. So I think the gold has ever so slightly bled over. I'm getting there slowly with this librarian. Slowly but surely. We're chipping away at it. I'm still not sure about the face, but there's paint on, so that's nice. There's something at least. Well, we can do the book. Books should be all right. Ah, right. Okay, I'm going to go look right now. Hang on a second, guys. Oh, don't leave me. I'm just going to go and have a look. Oh, my spine. Oh. No, I don't see it. Turd Ferguson, what a good name. Foxhole. No. I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it. I'm flagging. I'm not finding it. There was someone called, a recent subscriber who was called Turd Ferguson, which I thought was a golden name. That's a great name, that is. I will endeavour to look better, but I'm getting a bit tired at this point. Let's crack out you. I kind of want to get this shield. Let's do the orange ink, and then it's got to be this one. So the idea is that we don't use a synthetic brush, we use a slightly bigger brush. Oh no, actually I'll just show you. So I'll just go on with a little bit of pigment and then just bez it on, but then water it down and just go over, and then just with my thumb, no worries, just go over it all and just really water it down, and then before it dries just dab some away on my t-shirt. Just push that round before it dries too much. And then, as if by magic, one dab, dab, dab. Ta-da! Copper effect, or the nearest I can get to copper effect. Maybe I dabbed a bit too much off there. Maybe I need to put just a little bit more back on here around these bolts. And that's my copper effect right there. That's the best I can do. I think that's all right. Frankly, I can live with that. The red looks a bit... I'm not sure about the red. Maybe the red more was a bad idea. But I kind of feel like I'm going to leave it. So I've got 4 of these guys. So what I'll do is, for these first 4, I'll do the reds for the tummies. Right? That's what I'll do. And then for the others, I will figure something out. Maybe I'll do the flesh. I'll do the flesh now. So we're going to go with Bugman's... What was it? Bugman's butts. Bugman's... Where are you? Bugman's something. And I just need to bring up the colour ever so slightly. So I need to find something to mix with it. Here it is. Bugman's Bane. Bugman's Glow. So I will mix that up with something. I will just add Corax White. And I will attempt to wet blend this. So I need a crep brush first. Bugman's. And then a dab of, you know what, I'm gonna use Corax actually. And then just that much of a dab of Corax. And let's just bring that up a little bit. That's a lot of, that's brought up a lot. That's quite a difference. Let's see if I can, let's see how we get on. You back on there. The amount of painting progress I've made in such a short amount of time is, it's the best I've done as far as progress is concerned. We're about to find out. It's mixed, all right, but this is just basic Bugman's, and then I'm going to go on with the lighter version. I've immediately, oh, if anything, it's not that different. Ah. Well, that's interesting. It's actually all right. Hey, that looks like it might actually be okay. I'm so happy that I decided, and it was digging out, it was thanks to the live streams that I got to paint my ogres now, because ogres was one of the first armies I fell in love with when they first came out, and it was my old servitor that I cracked out to go to the Warhammer painting event thing that made me decide on this colour flesh for these guys. And so without doing that, these guys would still be sitting, not even base coated. But I specifically base coated these today. I went out on my balcony and base coated these to bring to the stream. So again, without the stream and without chatting, I feel like this streaming lark with Warhammer is like I feel like I've tapped into something that I'd been that I had not known that I needed. Welcome back. Hope the dogs are okay. I feel like I've really hit on something that I like. I've not spoken about this hobby this much, but now I get to talk about it every day. That's quite the chest. Yeah, streaming and talking to people gave, and Arcane, you are the prime example of that, because it has definitely helped with the painting as well. And as one of the original reasons for the channel was that my confidence was just non-existent as well, so it really helped with that. But this is definitely helping with the painting specifically, because I do want to get better. Should I just do all of that? I feel like I'm deliberately leaving a gap there. Right, I want to talk war paint, okay? So I need to, at some point... Hey, that's the first time this brush has splayed like that, actually. I hit the edge of that. I want to talk war paint. I kind of want to do war paint on these guys. I've got the 2mm and the 3mm tape now. Okay, good. Doggo Farts a Lot is quite a name. I like that. Everyone should like dogs. I don't know how... There are people in the world that don't like dogs. I just don't understand that. Let's just get in there and do that chest. Ah, it looks nice. I don't feel like we could do... Yeah, it looks nice. Now, what I need to do is do this guy's flesh. So there will be variations where I've mixed the flesh ever so slightly different with the guy. So war paint, it was the blue and the white that kind of interested me, but I'm thinking maybe... not the ultramarine blue, but I've got a codex for these guys, and what I should do is there's a few variations in that. I was thinking white, but I was thinking if I could make like a little stencil of a mouth of a Moor, then I would just put it on their shoulder and roughly dab it out with a sponge, because I figured like the war paint would vary ever so slightly because they're just dabbing it on. But I was thinking something like that. But I've got a box of Savage Orcs that I've been wanting to paint, and I thought they might have blue war paint on as well. So, but again, with the Savage Orcs, they've got Age of Sigmar bases in them. They don't have Old World bases. And the issue is I've got a lot of stuff that needs Old World bases, but I don't really want to fork out for the bases when there's other stuff that I would want, because I'm putting my spending on hold now. I'm not buying anything. Um, I'm on hold until I sell a few things, because I have a few other expenses that I've got to take care of first before I can buy anything again. But I'm thinking white. I'm thinking white. Um, yeah, I'm thinking white for that. Oh, man, these ogres, they're just such nice models. I've got the Battle Force as well and the Cavalry, so I need to get some square. Oh, there's a giant in there. There's a giant in the Battle Force as well. I tell you, that's another thing. What are they called? The Sons of Behemoth? The big giants? Now, I liked the old original giant, but those guys um, would be just great. Those big giants. But, I mean, what a model. That and, what is it, Archeon? The Chaos Lord on the three-headed dragon, the End Times guy. They are just crazy intimidating models. But one of those big giants, I think one of those would be a real treat. But could you tack them onto an ogre army? Because I just feel like they would be a nice addition to an ogre army. Because ogres aren't small, but one of those giants next to them would make them look teeny tiny. I'm alright with that chest. Let's carry on before it dries. Before I run out of that particular colour. Yeah, it's true. Tattoos are easier than war paint. That is true. Just put a little bit more on there. Oh, I'm getting a little bit lost with this shoulder. Not sure what I'm doing here. I think I'm putting too much on there. Yeah, that feels a little bit like too much. From what I understand, it's called a wet palette. It's got like a sponge in there that you throw some water on. It's got what looks like baking paper underneath, on top. So I don't know why I said it before it dries. I don't know why I felt like it was going to dry quickly. I think I was meaning more like the edge, because the blodge I've got is a bit mixed, so I'm kind of accessing it from a specific point. But yeah, I don't know why I actually said that. I'm getting a little bit off track here. This shoulder's looking a little bit more like it's just the lighter colour. So I think maybe I need to just rein that in a little bit, maybe. No, I think I'm getting a little bit lost right now. I think I need to kind of try and clean up that edge a little bit somehow. If anything, that's gone worse. Oh, thinning paints is easier on a dry palette. Oh, is it now? Well, that is... I feel like I'm getting a little bit lost here. I think it's looking a little bit two-tone. I don't think I like what I'm seeing here. Can I just break that up a little bit? No, I'm just kind of painting it now. That's just kind of all that colour. Maybe I am just going lighter with it. Maybe that's where I'm going with it. There's red in there. Have I woken up something below it? I think I have. I'm not sure. Let's just try and keep it a little bit conservative on the back here. What it is, oh, that's really white. That's really different. What it is because it's partially mixed. It's oh, fudge. I think I'm messing this up. I don't want to cover up so much of the bottom layer, but at the same time it could just be lighter skinned, but I didn't want to go too light with it. I kind of liked the Bugman's tone, but if we're going to go a little lighter, then maybe that will be the approach. But also, like I said, the skin will vary from model to model ever so slightly, so maybe this is okay what I'm going with now. Again, it's the same thing with the isn't it, with the Ravager Arcanine. Like, I got a little bit indecisive once it was a certain amount on, and then it looked good once it was on more. You know what? What's wrong with that? I think it's all right. Oh, if you put Azaman Blue wash on your wet palette, it will soak into your paper and sponge. It won't be usable. Put it on a dry palette, and now you can mix it with null oil. Ah, okay. Oh, all right. I thought it was just like wet palette was better. I didn't realize that they had different purposes. That is entirely new to me. I didn't know that at all. I didn't know that the dry palette had some uses. Yeah, did not know that at all, actually. That is very interesting. I thought it was just the way it was. I thought wet palette was just better. Again, wouldn't have known it. So I should look. I guess you could use anything as a dry palette, right? Any old piece of plastic. It doesn't have, as long as it's not wood, I guess. It could just be anything. I don't want this flesh to be too patchy, but at the same time, should I go lighter on this? The thing is, it's quite broad, flat sections. Yeah, this really is why the internet's great, because we would, for all intensive purposes, we would never meet in our personal circles. You know, being on different parts of the world, different ages, we just wouldn't necessarily ever cross paths, you know? And so with this, because I don't know anyone in real life who likes Warhammer, frankly. Kitchen tile's a good one, because kitchen tile's also weighted. You know, like if you knock it over, it'd be hard to knock over or knock off a table. I like the idea of a kitchen tile. I think a kitchen tile's, yeah, I think that's the one I would choose. But you could use anything, I feel. Teacup plate, that's potentially even better. Oh, I'm so happy I base coated these. I'm so happy I'm doing my ogres. I'm not sure about that belly, but these ones are going to have that belly, and then if we're going to adapt from it, we'll move on from that. But I want to keep it as like an experience, because we tested it. If I'm not fully happy with it, fine, but doesn't mean we can't use it. You know, they can be the first of them. So I think that's fine. Whoa, that's really light. Just mix that in a little bit. Maybe put a bit on there as well. What I like about these guys is, even though it's a bit difficult having all these chunky flat surfaces, it does allow to put some designs on there. It does allow that. Go for it painting. Hi, that sounds like a channel name as well. The divots you put on the paint into help checking for consistency. Yeah. Are you Turd Ferguson? Was that? Oh, but no. Hey, yeah, I've noticed that I've actually got some new subscribers. Another thing with the channel is that it's been operating in the negative for years. it's been going down slowly, but it's been going down. It has been going down. So it's very nice to see actually people joining who want to be involved with Warhammer. I find when you're doing gaming stuff, if the game gets less popular, people just like drop off. But the thing with streaming Warhammer is that I already know that I've enjoyed Warhammer for like multiple decades, so it's not going anywhere. You know, my interest isn't just going to drop off. It's just a question of moving into other facets of the hobby. Like, it's not one that's going to fade away. Is the saying lightning in a bottle? But anyway, thank you, Go, for it. I appreciate you. Feel free to add a like to the stream as well, actually. We're trying to boost up that old ad revenues. I'm trying to get the old ad revenues to kick itself into life. So, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yep, that's very nice of you. I still feel funny about asking for likes. I still feel funny about that. That has not become organic yet. But I reckon give it a few more, because I would normally never ask. I find myself getting embarrassed asking, but it's progressing. Which, by the way, is another great use for dry palette. When you mix up a custom paint blend, you'll want to do it in small batches, since it dries on the palette before the next session. You can... Okay, there's more to that. What a treasure trove of information this is. You can better colour match the new batch on top of the old dry blend. Yes, colour matching, I am not good with that. That's why I was already saying with this guy, they're going to slightly differ. They're going to slightly differ from each other because of the consistency. And you can see on this one that he's already lighter on one shoulder than the other and darker on the front. I think I'm all right with that a little bit. I feel like I'm okay, but I think that being able to match it initially with the new blend and get it in the ballpark of the same would be good, because what I'd end up doing is I'm going so bright that I'll end up going over it again. But this guy is, yeah, he's definitely he's definitely a bit multicolored. That is definitely a lesson that I'm gonna have to work on. He's definitely a few different shades. What's the name of the big giants? Behemoth? I'm just going to put a little bit more on here of this particular colour, because it is skin at the end of the day. So if he's a little bit varied, I think that could be okay. I'm just going to put on a little bit of this on and around. I get to do his face soon as well. Just that shoulder, this shoulder. Let's just take a little bit more. I like him. His face now. I get to do the face. So let's just... Oh, I actually used the synthetic brush for all of this. So he's got a lovely little wart there on his chin. His lips would probably be a different colour. So what I think I'll do is I think I will do the lips with this, but then I don't know, for some reason I feel like blue would be good, but maybe that's a bit much. I might add a little pink into them. Maybe not pink, but a little bit more fleshy colour. I'm going to use a wash over the face as well. I kind of want to give him some discolour. This one's got a beard, but I wanted to do some stubble. I thought like some watered down grey on the chin would be nice. Dry palette is required since you need to mix colours several times for nice gradients. I think that the dry palette is something I've been missing. Something that I walked away from and never looked back, but is actually something that I need. He's got two little eyes in there. Really little tiny beady eyes. I don't know how I'm going to get in there to get to him. But I need to just get the last of this. Oh, there's enough paint to do the head. It's fine. But look at that face. What a face. And these are really old models as well, but I think he looks great. He's got those really big bags under his eyes. they're just so pretty. They're just such nice models. Oh, that's maybe a bit much. What should I do about the eyeballs? Should I try? I don't know. Because they're in there, but I don't know if I can get in to get those. Yeah, the thing is, I don't like dry brushing. Not because I think it's viable, but it's just that that's quite the mold line on his head. I'm going to clean that off. That's really drastic. That's just too much. I don't really too much care for mold lines, but they're really apparent there. I'm going to have to go with that shoulder as well whilst I'm here. Forget eyes? Yeah, I think these eyes I will forget. Because mine always look like bug-eyed, sheer terror-induced, wonky eyes. I've got to the point where I can do lenses. I frequently do lenses, but I will do eyes. But you have to kind of get that gleam of whatever that gleam of eye is. They can't just be white dot, black dot, because they just have that, like I say, that completely panic-stricken look about them, which isn't such a good look. Let's just cover over that and just do the back of the head. Oh, he's a pretty one. He's a pretty one. I like him. You could have a little bit more on the face. Just a little bit more. Just ever so slightly build it up. Look at him. What a little beauty. Oh, underarm there. I missed a bit. And the hand. Well, again, it's underarm. Not going to worry about it too much. No one's going to pick him up and have a look. But the hand I will notice. So let's see what paint we've got left there. He's got two hands. No, it's wearing some kind of gauntlet, so it's just this hand I need to worry about. Let's just do that. He's a nice looking guy. And so what I've got 4 of these, and then I think, or I've got 8 of these maybe, and then 4 lead belchers, and then I'm on assembling. Here's a question. Is assembling stuff flesh eyes and clean up around the eyes? It's loads of effort for a payoff ready notice. Basically only, yeah, I agree. It is, because you do have to have clean up afterwards, because I rarely get it right first time. And I guess if you want to get the eye looking fantastic, then it's a little bit grey on that hand. I haven't really painted that, but you wouldn't notice. I need to get just ever so slightly more there. Oh, he's a beauty. He's a beauty. Look at him. Now he's coming together. Trousers. I was just going to go brown. I feel like I don't need to be fancy with that. But he's got the sword, the wristband. Beard. I don't know about the beard. Yeah, I do think eyes... Maybe with characters, I'd go for it with the eyes. But I haven't painted pupils on an eye for ages. I did on my... Is it Trigon? Tygon? I painted eyes on him. I did that, I admit, because it was, you know, it's a pretty big model, so I figured why not on that one. Let's do... I do like him. Let's get the sword and the gauntlet going. Oh no. Did you hear that? I dropped my brush. I heard it clang. And I looked down and I can't see it. Oh no. Oh no. It went in a box. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a small mercy. I thought for a second. I love this synthetic brush. I definitely want to get more of these. They're more my cup of tea. Yeah, I haven't had many issues with it splaying out. Whatever I'm doing with natural brushes is not helping them. So I definitely like those more. As I was saying earlier, you need to choose a 40-hour or less method for army painting, not the 100-hour version with eyes. Yeah, you did say that earlier. It's true. And I definitely agree that that is the way to go. I would say, depending on the character, like, you're not going to spend 100 hours on termagants, frankly. The trouble is, with termagants, for example, there's so many of them that I find, like, the quality really degrades. Yeah, I'm very new to synthetic brushes. They're just a treat. Something about them I like. Something about using them is just you know what, that's quite a mold line there again. I know I just painted it, but I think I'm gonna take that off a bit. Just ever so slightly. So on the note of the board games, I'm not going to list them yet. I'm going to list them in a week's time and see how the streaming goes. But I'm kind of leaning towards just opening Secundus if I don't meet any of the targets, which I don't think I will. If I'm honest, like hand on heart, I don't think it will happen. There's a really big bit of plastic in there. So I'm thinking that I might just say to myself, don't resell Secundus. You can play it on the channel. And that's how I will justify not relisting it. Someone asked me for a knit tutorial. They picked on the Francois YouTube page. Those were like 7 minutes a model. Oh, I'd be interested in that, actually. That would be interesting to me. I'd like to see what a 7-minute NID looks like. Yeah, that would be interesting. I really need to start finding out about colour schemes for Gene Stealers, because I want to start the old school Gene Stealer colours, and by association the Gene Stealer cult, because I'm sitting on a lot of Gene Stealer cult stuff, but the colour scheme is holding me back, and I want to start them because I saw the bikers and the little buggy, which I have, and they looked pretty good in person. I was like, okay, so yeah, they're actually a lot smaller than I thought. They were nice looking little guys. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Gene. Do you have a Gene Stealer thing? Do you have anything on that? You didn't mention Gene Stealers or Tyranids, I don't think, when you listed your armies. On the subject of Tyranids, have you seen the Battle Force? It's a good one. It's all the big ones. The Toxicrene I wanted for ages, but it wasn't on discount on the discount sites, so I was like, I can't justify paying 65 euros for one of those guys. But they're in the Battle Force, which means there's going to be a lot more of them knocking around with people reselling them separate. So it's still... Oh, hang on, I've just realised that I've been slowly moving the camera. Just slowly moving the camera around whilst painting. Let's try and get you without getting too much on the flesh now it's done. Whoop. That'll do. So it seems that with these evening streams, or morning streams as it may be, or afternoon streams, that I'm more inclined to end up on a bit of a tangent going away from the plan, but starting with getting stuff done. But again, it keeps happening. I pick up something else and then we have like a nice little happy accident. Orcs and Nids in 2nd edition, an Old World Skaven. I'll never paint another Horde Swarm army ever again. Well, if you haven't done it since 2nd edition, then yeah, I don't blame you for that. No, it's not a bad thing. I agree, it's not a bad thing. I like having options. He's a pretty guy. Trousers. Well, I mean, yeah. I tell you what, I painted the what are they called, Von Ron Leapers, and I wasn't happy with the paint job. And I know that at one point you could get three of them for like €7. So I kind of want to paint a new pair. Well, I don't. Do I want to paint a new? I've got enough nids. I need to just work with what I've got. I've got enough going on. I wanna get something game ready. That's what I want to do. Game ready. 4 of these in a line would constitute a grouping, wouldn't they? I think one row. Not sure where to go with that. With the brown. The boots could just be brown. It would make it pretty easy to do if it just went brown. You know what I'm going to do? I went skag brown with this coat. I'm going to do skag brown with the other one, and then I can do them both at the same time. Browns aren't the most thrilling to me, to be honest. I'm not the hugest fan of browns and doing browns. Like these straps and bits on this guy just totally beaten me. I don't find it particularly exciting. Sometimes I feel like they use too many straps. Like that demon, he for me, he could just have the shoulders and shoulder armor, and that'd be it. You wouldn't necessarily need all that. 5 in a rank, but large bases, or ogres might get ranks of 4. Okay, so well, either way, I'd have to just spray up one more, so that's not so bad. So what I like about this Scrag Brown is that the first coat doesn't really cover the underlaying coat. So there's a bit of sprue there. Let's get rid of that. I've just added hair to that instead. Where's the brown? Let's get these done. I think after these trousers, I think that's me done for the day. But 2 streams in one day. The one this morning was bonkers. At one point, 15 people. 15! I mean, it was only for a moment, but we were regularly in double digits. I came away from that stream feeling giddy. I was like, oh, what? People actually watching? This is amazing! And then I got tired and I was like, oh, it's not going to be like that again. But again, it's not about the 10. It's not about the biggest number. As I've said it many times, you need that 1 to 3 people active in chat and you're golden. That's all you need. You get that 1 to 3, you got yourself what you need. You got your social. That's the Goldilocks zone. Isn't that planets, right? Goldilocks zone is where in the solar system you're the right distance from the sun. I'm pretty sure that's Goldilocks zone. It's not so. It's not. It's going faster than I expected. Arcane. Like today, I was kind of excited because loads of people who I'd never met before turned up, and what I like is that there's a narrative building around people joining, like Jammy's closet. Now we've got Francois in his bunker. Like there's a narrative of people who are joining that's building up, and like we're all choosing to spend our time here, you know, and we're not getting that time back, but we're all electing to spend time here. And I'm so happy. Like I put on a YouTube video today and I got bombarded with 4 different AI crypto adverts or crypto game adverts. There was 2 games and 2 crypto trader AI ones, and I'm like, what am I doing? I can't even watch this. So I think this is as well me trying to make my own entertainment as well, to trying to get away from the AI stuff that I'm being trying to be fed. You know, I can't be forced, having these ads forced on me. I don't like advertising anyway, but when I know it's just this AI, there's this one for this RPG game, and it's like, you can protect the caravan, you can raid it or something, and it's just like, oh, bleh, come on. It's just slop, and I don't want it. So at least here, like, we're having a conversation, you know? You're not just and AI help bots as well. God, I'll just pass you on to a human. Could I have just done that straight away to begin with? Would that have been possible? YouTube without ad block, which is what I do, is unwatchable. But we don't have political ads, so that's a small mercy. But yeah, I don't use ad blocker, but I'm not going to get it because I think it's a mercy. I think it's helping me to not watch YouTube. I don't want to just sit mindlessly looking at shorts. I don't want to just sit mindlessly looking at a video. I need to be a bit more involved. I can't be a shut-in. I've got to be out, actually having to think and talk, and I interact, you know, on some... Because we're social creatures, humans, and I feel like maybe online isn't the best, but it's better than none, you know? It's better than none. These trousers. It does just look like he's wearing a sack with a couple of leg holes cut in it. Oh, there's a little bit of brown up there. I think these are third place with easy models. I think it's Orcs, Death Guard, but these guys are like good entry level. Get to know painting, because there's a lot of big areas. Yeah, and there's something to be said about videos. Like, I've seen some really... What I've seen, right, is I've not seen any real low quality painting videos. They all seem to be incredibly well put together, edited videos. And I know that's never going to be me. I am not either got the patience, the skill, the inclination to edit videos to that kind of caliber. I don't have it in me. I'm jaunty in conversation, let alone trying to understand the right times to put in edit cues. It would all be off kilter. So this is me. I think this is more me. Like it's just lovely. They are different beasts, though, without a doubt, different beasts. Okay, so I think we can just chalk this up as a success. This guy can don Susan, but I don't know if it looks a little bit too chalky. I don't know, but maybe there's too much of a contrast between the Bugmans and the light, but I'll take it. First attempt. I think that's me done for today, guys. If you haven't already put a like on, could you just take a moment to do that? But I think you all have. I should be on tomorrow. The plan is to do every day. But yeah, these evening streams, definitely a different feel. I wouldn't have considered that either, that different times of day would yield different vibes of stream. But there you have it. So, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. And thanks for the nuggets of information as well. It's been golden, actually. Some real interesting things. I definitely need to get my hands on a tile. And I think mixing colours and getting those right is the way to go in the future. But what I'll try and do is I'll try and think of some things to do during the stream. But I mean, I kind of like how this is. I kind of like picking one up and working on it and seeing where we go with it and where the conversation takes us. But yeah, thanks, guys. I'll see you later. I'm ranting on, but yeah, really appreciate you. Thanks. I'll see you soon. All right, bye.